Hey there, it's Matt, and this is a film review of two movies that I have seen recently, The Long Walk and The Smashing Machine. These are two films which I watched last weekend and this weekend, respectively, at the Kamloops Cineplex at the Aberdeen Mall here in Kamloops. I'm no longer in Fort McMurray, Alberta. That's major. I've completely ended living there, completely finished up with my apartment, and I'm here in Kamloops visiting my kids and tying up some, I guess, personal and financial kind of loose ends that I needed to attend to here. Just a short visit. I'm only here for, well, until the day after tomorrow. And it's been really a pleasure. It's been more than a pleasure. It's been a joy to see my brilliant, outstanding, tall, very athletic, very intelligent, very kind, very thoughtful young men who are just getting bigger and bigger every time I see them. I think any parent who only sees their kids every so often may potentially be able to relate to this. And I thought it might be worthwhile to do a review of the two films, The Long Walk and The Smashing Machine. You can read all about it below. I really enjoyed both of these films. A lot of it was to do with the company. I watched The Long Walk with my 13-year-old, just the two of us. And then with the Smashing Machine, I got both the boys to come out. So the 13-year-old and 15, he's turning 16 next month. And both of these were outstanding cinematic experiences, respectively, each of them dealing with violence, great deal of violence, particularly in The Long Walk, I have to say. The Long Walk being sort of a dystopian, it's classic Stephen King, absolutely macabre, absolutely dark. And it's actually based on one of his earlier novels, written before he was famous, published after he was famous. He actually published it under the Richard Bachman pseudonym. I encountered it in the late 80s or early 90s as part of the Bachman Books collection, along with three other short novels. And you can tell that it's very early on in King's career. It's a completely streamlined narrative, and the filmmakers do a really outstanding job of bringing that to life. The actors really carry the spirit of these doomed young men as they march forward, literally to the death. And there's some political commentary within this story that was written after, not so long after at all, the end of American involvement in the Vietnam War, the conflict in Vietnam. And there's a lot in the current political climate, I guess, which resonates in this contemporary treatment of this novel, this story that at this point is almost 50 years old. The Smashing Machine, rather different, based on a true story. Fighter Mark Kerr of the early UFC. The film takes place in the years specifically between 1997 and 2000. So that's the year after I graduated from high school and would have still been completing my undergraduate degree in English back in the day. And one of the aspects of the film that I really appreciated was the attention to detail in the particularly the sequences which take place in the United States, because a lot of the film actually takes place outside the US in Japan, but the production design in terms of the costumes, in terms of the cars, in terms of the music, in terms of the vibe, the director, Benny Safdie, really captured it. He really nailed it. He and his team in bringing that atmosphere, that retro vibe to the movie. And it's really very well showcase, if you will, the talents of the thespian, the very talented actor, Dwayne The Rock Johnson of the WWE wrestling entertainment franchise, as well as a whole lot of pretty mid-brow, lowbrow, you could even say, some of them Hollywood features where he's just playing variations of himself. Big muscular dude with a huge smile and tons of charisma. But in fact, under all the prosthetics behind the facial makeup to have him resemble the fighter, the real life fighter, early UFC, early mixed martial arts pioneer, Mark Kerr, it actually allows him to showcase not just his significant charisma and marry that to his significant experience fighting as an entertainer, as it were. It actually, with Safdie's direction and with an outstanding co star in Emily Blunt, as well as real life mixed martial art fighter, we have Ryan Bader, who I've never heard of, but he's uh, a actual mixed martial art fighter doing, I believe, his first feature film, playing against Kerr's, playing as Kerr's rather, trainer and at one point rival in the ring, Mark Coleman. So, without having a huge knowledge or particular fandom of UFC or any kind of combat sports generally, it's cool. I just don't really watch it or follow it. There's a lot going on speaking to perseverance in terms of tenacity, in terms of how to win and how to lose gracefully under a great deal of personal pressure, which is something that I, in my particular unemployed circumstances, maybe can find something of resonance there. So the reviews down below are of a personal nature about my experience watching these films with my kids. I enjoyed them both, and I recommend that if you're looking for a very, very passable entertainment on the weekend, or I suppose any other time, you could do very well to check them both out, or either of them. Appreciate you for checking this out whatsoever. As a matter of fact, this Substack. Take care. Bye for now.